Okay, everybody, it's draco0rex's, just Norris, whatever you want to call me, coming to you from my dorm room 1.5 weeks before the finals and midterm. Now, I know I don't really post, well, YouTube videos here, and I mostly do collecting up everyone else's videos on YouTube on my favorites and various sections, but since it's been a bit over a year since last time I actually chatted on YouTube, I might as well say something. Now, assuming this is actually recording, which I doubt, I want to throw out there that I'm a bit of a rut, but I'm finding it, and I think I might be out of it, art-wise, over in my art gallery, which I should have a link down over there somewhere in the little folder thingy. Information bar, yeah, that's it. Now, as for other things, well, it is after midnight. I don't know what exactly YouTubers do to actually be YouTubers. I mean, my last video kind of was all wonky and wobbly. For starters, it somehow sped up the audio. I mean, it kept the audio at its normal pace, but sped up the rest of the video. So it was only 45 seconds or something. I haven't looked at it in a while. Second, don't expect a lot of videos from me. If anything, they'll be just this, me chatting to you, and I doubt that makes good TV or YouTube. Third, well, I was thinking maybe I'll start a game review thing, just for the heck of it, because hey, let's face it, you guys like it, otherwise, why bother putting it on the internet, eh? Also, to get started, let's start Skyrim. My first review of it is that it looks pretty good from playing, of course, but some of the things fishy about it once you start get going. You start to realize some inconsistencies. For example, some graphic flaws and physical flaws. For example, my Argonian in game, I've come a few times up to his, well, midway up his lower leg, sunk in the ground for no good reason, no sign of any graphical sludge or anything, just like that, and he's on bedrock. Oops. Second, I've noticed several times in Dwarven Ruins that once you kill a spider, sometimes they get stuck rattling in place because they're on the edge of a graphical pitfall. Now, minor bugs aside, the actual game itself is pretty good. Just as good as Oblivion, just as good as Fallout 3 and Vegas. Which is nice, because, let's face it, we like good games and good gameplay that works. And it's nice when video game companies keep to that formula. But I must say, despite my original thoughts, you see, when I first played Oblivion, I hated the repair feature. In Fallout 3, I found it kind of nice. Helped keep my inventory from getting too full when I kept picking up everything in sight. In Fallout New Vegas, same story. But in Skyrim, it sort of makes it feel like you're on God mode and your weapons never break. Plus, you'll find yourself over encumbered a lot quicker. Which is nice, but thankfully they got enchantments for that. Oh, voodoo woo boo, and poof, your ring, your boots, and your pendant can make you carry more stuff, which is always nice. Now, about the companion characters, my first companion character, Linda or Lida, whatever is, don't have her name in front of me. I found her done it way too easily, even though I gave her dwarven armor, 2 magic staffs, 1 fire, 1 ice, a bow, and pretty much any magical gimmick I have lying around that I don't want to use. And she still gets either A, lost, or B, dead. Thankfully, I managed to save her every time she dies by going back to save and retrying. Now, I really like how determined she is to help me out. I mean, spoiler alert, in the mission, diplomatic immunity or something like that, I was trapped in the courtyard with, well, Falmer to my left, to my right. Next thing you know, I feel like, oh, I died once, try again. This time try and be a bit more sneaky. Get blown halfway across the courtyard. Come back, try be my usual, hi there, boink, self. What can I say? I hate stealth. I mean, why? Well, no, I don't completely hate it. I mean, it's nice to get the damage bonus and all when you sneakily hit something, and the sound effect it makes is nice, like, boink! Like, oh dear, what just hit me? Sound. Sorry, I don't have little cartoon characters running around my screen, like Yahtzee or what have you, or having funny montages like exploit on G4. But hey, I work with what I got, and what I got is my dorm room, some paper, pencils, and myself. So yeah. Also, my computer is garbage for games other than Minecraft and Second Life. Any Second Life's graphics are bare minimum. It's not a gaming PC. All my games are on the systems. Now, back to the game rate. I am very happy this time around that I knew to keep focus on my destruction spells and try to get good with them this time, because, well, my enemies are weak to magic. Plus, I'm mixing things up a bit. You see, in Oblivion, I never bothered to use the bow. This time, I'm using the bow, and it seems to be working a lot better. But at times, it seems so weaky, and though I'm at level 30s or 20 something. Sorry, my system's at home. I can't just pick it up and check. And the bow like only does like a fraction of the damage that my sword does. While your guys, aka non-playable enemies, can take me out with 2 headshots. It's not one of those boss. Sorry, I don't pay attention to the game developer names. Anyway, it's not one of their games unless there's a steep enemy leveling curve. Now for the shouts, it's a nice touch, but I don't know about them. I haven't used them that much, but I must say, when I'm just using the unrelenting force aiming at the sky in the middle of winter run, it's hilarious to hear the reaction. The locals are like, "What the beep?" Now, to the cinematics, they're pretty good. But once you get nice up and close, you notice some things. For example, when you're, spoiler, doing the mission for Shoggoth again, you might remember him from the DLC of Shivering Isles for Oblivion. Well, when you see him again, he doesn't look as good as he did in Oblivion. His hair looks textured, formed, his face like a mask. Yeah, I know you kill him in spoiler. Well, you can't kill him because he is a Daedric prince, but still, when you do what you do in Shivering Isles, you sort of take over for him. Spoiler. But the fact is this: when you meet him in Skyrim, he doesn't look like the character you took him over as. He looks like him because he is him. Apparently, he just comes back. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I think with a new engine, long, fairly good time to develop, and they've worked on improving the hair textures, but that's just slops, like blah. And thank goodness they kept the Argonians war breathing, though it doesn't really help much when the enemies don't bother chasing you into the lake. I mean, besides that, I must say it's rather nice that you can cure vampirism with just a potion cure disease, or go into one of the various chapels of the divine just to pray and poof, you're cured. I mean, yeah, that's kind of nice, but still a bit cheesy. Unless, of course, you get full vampirism, then you got more side quest. Of course, if I tell you what and where, it has to be a bit of a spoiler too. Now then, yes, the music is very good, and I like how it transitions from nice peaceful sweeping landscape instrumental to a bit uppity with drums when you're in battle. Though sometimes it gets a bit odd, like there's one dramatic chord out of nowhere. Sort of like, well, I don't know what to compare it to, but I know there was a game that where music's so peaceful and song goes boom, it's throwing the heck out of many people paying attention to it. Anyway, wow, been talking about. Anyway, now for actual combat. Works the same as any other game, or any other game of these developers make. Right trigger, attack. Left trigger, spell, or left hand. Well, they both are attack, I guess. Though the shout is a new feature, as I said before. Though I find its effects a bit odd. For example, slower, when you get the slow time thing, you think only your enemy will get slowed, or anyone else but you. But you too get slowed, so I'm wondering, what's the point in that? I mean, crying out. I won't. Swallow mo just to get my ass kicked. I'm gonna slow-mo the air guy so I can get his ass kicked. Also, the shouts don't seem to last very long. 10-15 seconds tops, then poof, back to the thick of things with your head getting chopped off by the guy with the drain blood axe. Because he's a game ninja. Now, moving on. I must say I'm still irritated that your character slows down so much through being over encumbered, but let's face it, that's the realism. Now, what's interesting is the blacksmith feature, where you're actually upgrading your weapons, making stuff, upgrading your armor, and melting ore. I really like this feature because it kind of adds to it, makes it feel like your weapons are more personal because you're adapting them. You're improving them, you're making them, and you're making bling bling. Apparently you have some gold or silver ore, make it to gold so it gets to some jewels, and poof, you got some rings and things. Moving on. What's irritating is that some enemies can shout too, and usually their favorite shout is disarm. So I might be finding, say, on the undead enemies, greater undead enemies, and I'm like, okay, you're about to get sword to the. Where'd my sword go? Because he shouted it out of my hand. Personally, I haven't found the disarm shout yet, but I'm still looking, mind you. I'm still looking. Okay, seeing that I'm down to 3 minutes left in this vid, time to wrap it up. Skyrim, combat, 5 stars. Environments. Well, actually, environments are better. There's more variety in the underground dungeon areas from Oblivion, which only had 2, which was the Elven Ruin and the old Fort Dungeon Room and Cave Floor. That makes 3, actually. But here we got Crypt, which is basically a lot of open alcoves. We've got, well, Fort Underground, aka stairs, cupboards, stonework, towers. We've got Elven, which you don't usually see too well unless you know what you're looking for, which is usually ironwork and stuff. Then you got Dwarven. I like Dwarven. It's like a little piece of modern technology, or steampunkism, in the middle of Skyrim, has no business being there. Let me tell you about Blackreach. Spoiler alert again. Big underground cavern, beautiful. The enemies are hard as shit to defeat. And just when you think you're done, a wisp mover or who knows what pops up and you're like, oh fuck. Excuse me, pardon my language. Anyway, as I was saying, environments, 5 stars for the most part. I have encountered one glitch in one level where a corner disappears and I can just see the pre-rendered sky in the background. I'm like, what the heck? But I only occurred in one area. Okay. Playability, I say I play it again and again and again because I've been playing it since it came out every weekend and over Thanksgiving break. And finally, overall, I give it 4 out of 5 stars. It's a good game, but it doesn't feel finished yet. Well, that's all. Ta-ta.